Hey guys, and welcome back. It has been a little while since I've recorded anything or put anything up. That's a lie. I have recorded bits, but nothing kind of interesting to put up. So, has been a little while. There has been a fair bit of progress on the 31. Unfortunately, I've been working an absolute ton over the last couple of weeks. Between that, the 40-degree heat wave we've had that makes me feel like I want to pass out when I'm in the garage, and it's now pissing down rain outside. I think we're getting like 40 mil today and tomorrow. It's been kind of a case of I've just jumped in, done a few minutes here and there wherever I could. Haven't had blocks of time to get stuff done as I would hope. But we have had a fair bit of progress. So the garage is an absolute shit fight at the moment. We have bits of stuff scattered absolutely fucking everywhere. So I suppose probably the biggest change at the moment, all that we've done so far is, well, noticeable change. Engine bay is now painted. So it's all matte black, as you can see. It's going to stay as that matte black. It's not 100% cured yet. So I took one of the only days that wasn't like 80% humidity, stupidly hot or stupidly cold. Quickly jumped in and got it all done. Taped it, cleaned it, got it all finished off. It's got a couple of good coats on it. Now this is engine block matte black, high temp paint. Got to get my words out. That has to be heated to be cured properly. So it's kind of just sitting here at the moment. You can see if you sort of touch it lightly, I'm not sure if you can kind of see it on my fingers, you do get a bit of a chalky dust off it because it hasn't cured properly. I have read things online that people have had success doing it kind of slowly with a heat gun. I'm not really going to get a chance to get any heat into this. It's supposed to be bucking down rain and horrible considering it's summer for like the next week. So that's not going to happen here. I was hoping we were going to get a couple of hot days and just leave the garage closed up and it will bake in here. It gets to insane temperatures in our garage. I'm going to have a crack at it with a heat gun and just see if I can set it a little bit. Otherwise, we're going to be very, very gentle and make sure we don't scratch or mark or touch it too much until the engine is in. Once the engine's in, I can obviously heat cycle the engine once that's going, and then that'll help set or cure all the paint for us. So engine bay's done. As you can see, all the brake cylinder, clutch master cylinder and stuff's off. Everything's sort of taped up for the moment. Obviously brake lines are going to have to get replaced. I'm going to have to replace the clutch master cylinder. It is... Now, I'll turn the light on so we can actually see it. Again, my workbench is an absolute shit fight at the moment. I've kind of just been jumping in wherever I can get a chance. You can see the clutch master cylinder is a little bit worse for wear. It's leaking like an absolute bitch. I have tried looking for a rebuild kit. Rebuild kit for the slave cylinder, no problems at all. Can find them everywhere. Trying to find a rebuild kit for the master cylinder is an absolute shit fight. I cannot find one anywhere. So at this stage, I'm probably going to have to buy a whole new one of those. I can find them. You can get them. They're not that expensive. So I think it's probably going to be easier if I just get a full new master cylinder and put that on because it's leaking like an absolute bitch and it's disgusting. So that's obviously going to be affecting clutch performance as well. So we need to get that replaced. So engine bay's done. What else have we done? Engine loom. So you'll notice the dash is kind of back in. We have done, so it's kind of dark in here. I'll try and turn the light on. It's not the greatest light because I know the pulses on this video because of the frame rate, but the dash is partly back in. This is kind of just sitting there at the moment, case in point, whilst we sort of figure out where everything's going. The main cable or the main body loom is done and all tied up. That's actually getting installed this morning. So we will run that properly. It's kind of run. I put it all in, test run it, so I know all my lengths and stuff are right, know my T-junctions and stuff are right. Not going to run it in the engine bay for the moment, just because, again, I don't want to touch that until I really have to. There's a few things I need to figure out in terms of how I'm going to run it into the engine bay, because there's a couple of different holes that I can use. There's a fairly large one on the side here I want to block up, but not really worry about that. It's kind of semantics. Yeah, need to... so the body loom is all done. So that's lights, hazards, tail lights got to get hooked up. So still need to hook up the tail lights, brake lights, all my accessories type stuff. So that's all done. I'm about to grab the ECU, sit that in place and start running, because there's a couple of those I'm going to split off and figure out how I'm going to grommet that into the engine bay. At this stage, we're going to run it through. So there's the hole here from, not sure if you can see, so this oval hole here, that actually used to be the inlet and outlet for the cooling system for the heater and the AC. Obviously, that is now gone, hence it's hollow underneath the dash. So at this stage, the ECU is getting mounted literally in behind there. So it's very quick, easy run through here. Trying to find a grommet that exact size is not all that easy, but potentially going to plate this up, drill it out with a hole saw, and then do like a just normal round grommet through there. Because this is all cold side on this side. Majority of the stuff is coming up to here. So it'll come out of there, around, and then up to injectors, fuel rail, Jesus Christ, my head's not working, coils was the other thing I'm thinking of. Fuel filter is going to be mounted over here, the fuel pressure, the fuel reg's going to be mounted up here, well, not there, but fuel reg's going to be mounted here somewhere, the remote oil filter, that's going to be mounted over here somewhere, so that's where those sensors are going to go. Coolant sensors up this side of the engine, everything kind of runs down this way. The only things that are going to go over there is boost solenoid, which I'm about to try and figure out where that fits, and the wideband, which will obviously go down to the exhaust. So that's pretty straightforward. That's definitely got to go there. But I'm going to run those inside and then come out. I don't know if I'm going to use, there's a little grommet. I don't know if you can see it. Next to the old AC hole, there's a little grommet there. I'm not sure if I'm going to come out there because the exhaust and everything, the blow-off valve and everything, or wastegate, sorry, is all here. So I'm not sure if I'm going to use that because it just comes out way too hot spot. I may come up through the corner of the chassis where the old ECU loom used to come through and come out that hole there, because I'm probably going to mount the boost solenoid sort of up in that corner there, and I can run a hose down to it, down here, down to the turbo, and then wideband down to there. So that's kind of where we're at. It's now like 2 weeks left of January. I was wanting to have this done by the end of January. I haven't even cracked that yet. I want to aim to get the wiring pretty much done today. May not be final terminated. I'm waiting for a fuse panel to turn up and a couple of buzz bars to finish the internals in there. Once that's done, then everything kind of get final terminations, lengths, and that sort of stuff. I can potentially get it all cable tied in and mounted because I know where it's going to be. Leave a bit of slack for some of the wires that need it. And then the ones that come into here, all my injectors and coils and stuff, I actually want to do a secondary termination. So I was going to do a subloom from there. So basically have a subloom coming from, I'm on this side. Obviously injectors will sit across the top here. Coil bracket, which is there. They're all going to sit under here. Having a couple of sublooms here, I can kind of leave the tails subloom and then off. It means if I ever need to take this out again, it's literally a couple of plugs there, your fuel, oil, and then your coolant, and she's out kind of thing. So very, very quick and easy to kind of take it off. Actually, fuel and oil you wouldn't even need to because they're remote, so it's literally just going to be those two. But yeah, I want to get that kind of sorted today so that wiring's done and dusted, and then I can get cracking on the motor. Then I can get cracking on the motor and actually start getting that done. It's at the point now that there's kind of a couple of things I'm waiting on, and then it's all just going to fall into place. So I can see the light. It is getting close. There's just a few things kind of holding me up at the moment, but we'll get stuck into it. Haven't got time to waste today. That's where we're at. My brain is hurting. I'm not going to lie. As always, guys, like, comment, share, subscribe, all the fun stuff down the bottom. Let's get stuck into it and get this fucking thing back on the road.